What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a recipe for Pak Dong. It is similar to kimchi. It is a Thai fermented cabbage side. So let's get into it. First we just gotta acknowledge how big this cabbage is. It's literally the size of my head. So I'm just gonna peel off some of the gross outer leaves. Oh, that's beautiful underneath. Now, for this recipe you need one medium-sized cabbage, and I'm gonna say that this is probably not a medium-sized cabbage, so I'm gonna slice off I don't even know how to cut this thing, it's so big. I'm just gonna cut it in half. Jesus Christ. I can't cut it. It's longer than the knife. Okay. Oh. That was laborious. Alright, so we gotta shred the cabbage. You can do this with your knife if you want, but recently we found these little tools here. They're just basically shreddy guys. So you just go at it, scrape the cabbage. It's going to take a minute for me to shred this cabbage, so I'll be right back when it's done. So, after you have the cabbage shredded, you want to salt it so it can wilt, kind of. So, the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, but I want to use some for the garlic, but I think this is more cabbage than the recipe really meant, so I think I'm going to just do just shy of 2 tablespoons for this. And I'm going to do about half a tablespoon into the garlic. There we go. Once you put the salt on the cabbage, you just kind of want to distribute it and crunch it all in. There's way too much cabbage in this bowl, so I'm not really going to be mixing it a lot, but as it sweats, it's going to break down and it's going to not be this overwhelming. Alright, next I'm going to move on to the peppers and the garlic. I'm going to rinse these off their, serranos? Fresnos? I think they're Fresnos. Okay. We just got these rinsed off. I'm just going to trim the tops and then cut them into slightly smaller segments. It's there for now. In the bowl already I have 4 Thai red chilies, but they were frozen, so I don't know how that impacts fermentation, so I figured instead of using completely Thai chilies, we'll do a mixture. There we go. I might have overloaded this. So, the mortar and pestle idea didn't really pan out how I imagined, because A, it wasn't big enough for the amount of stuff that I put in, and B, it's not actually mortar and pestle, it's a mortar and a muddler, and you need 2 things that are equally hard for that whole equation to work. So, I'm just going to manually chop these until it's as close to a paste as I can manage to get it. Alright, I've gotten this about as small as I can bear to get it. This is not really traditional in the way it's supposed to be done, or at least the recipe that I read, but I wanted to use salt to help break the garlic down, and I was preoccupied with that idea. So now the salt is going in with the garlic. The garlic's not supposed to go in until later, and the peppers aren't supposed to go until later, but we're doing it now. Now I'm just gonna mix it in. The cabbage also needs a turning, so it's a good opportunity. 2 birds, 1 stone. 2 birds stoned at once. It's already decreased so much, and so much, there's a lot of liquid coming out of this just from the salting. Alright, so since we have such a large volume of cabbage, we're going to do 3 carrots. You could chop them by knife and do matchsticks. I'm not very good at it, but I will attempt to show. So basically, you just slice it on an angle, really thin, and then you turn them on their side and do little tiny thin matchsticks. Like that, but I don't like chopping carrots, and that would take forever. So, we're gonna use our fancy little shredder rack. You just hold them and peel. left over with our little shredding method. So you just gotta go in and manually chop what's left over, but that's not as bad as doing it to all the carrots. Now we move on to the other ingredients. 1/4 cup of mustard seeds, which is 1/4 cup mustard seeds. Alright, next we move on to the vinegar. You need 1/4 cup of white vinegar and then a 1/4 cup of apple cider. Really just eyeballing it to half.
Yeah, I mean, you need a little bit more anyways, right?
Okay, great.
You can just fill the rest of it up with that.
There we go. Why are you so far away again? Why do you
So
keep
we can
going all
see.
the way over there?
So I can see everything.
So it's supposed to be a 1/4 cup.
Do you want to toast?
That didn't happen. Now you just mix it all up. I don't know why I thought the utensil would be better.
Why not use your hand?
Because of the
Oh,
cut
'cause
that
you
I
have-
have.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Putting vinegar and spicy in it is not necessarily.
Do you want me to go get some battery acid?
Thanks to Michael. You realize that I did not put in the sugar, and that probably would have been bad. You need 1/2 cup of sugar. The recipe says unrefined sugar, but this is what we have, so this is what's going in. You know, they need to find better ways to package sugar and flour and shit. I know you're supposed to take them out and put them in another container, but no one does, and they always get all chunky because of moisture getting in. There you go, back into the pain zone.
And there's no oil or anything in there?
Nope. So much liquid has come out. So sugar does the same thing that salt does with drawing moisture out of things. So I think that just like sent it over the edge in terms of liquid available. My brain just totally like rebooted. Now that we have everything all mixed up, I have my freshly cleaned jars and we're just gonna pack it in and I'll show you how. We might not even need more than this jar.
I think that's a 1/2 gallon.
I was thinking that Big Fatty was pretty good.
Holy guacamole. I totally thought we were gonna need more storage, not 1/3 of what I planned, or rather half. Alright, now that we got all or most of the solids in, we're gonna just pour in our juices. Get all those tasty mustard seeds. They're all gonna be on top because they were all on bottom. Now we have fermentation weights. We're just gonna chuck them in. They're not really meant for this jar, but it'll do. You just wanna make sure that everything is completely submerged. And that is all for now. Alright, now that we got everything packed and pressed, you want to put this in a warm place between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, preferably dark, for at a minimum of 3 days, and you can go farther than that if you want it to be more fermented. In order to stop the fermentation, you pop it in the fridge, and that's all. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe, and come back next week for more. See